You now watch another episode of Watch More Sports. I'm G Dot, my man Big Lou in the house.
What up?
And we'll get to the NBA playoffs in a second. But last night, round one, NFL draft. I gotta say, well, first of all, before we get to the order, we'll just say that as Jet fans, I gotta ask you, Darnold. Did you think we would get him? Would you have preferred Baker Mayfield? We talked about last week how you thought Baker Mayfield was the best quarterback in the draft. I completely disagree with you, but no way did I think that the Browns would go ahead and choose him first. So they picked him up. Giants got Saquon. Darnold, your thoughts?
There you go. With Darnold, I've been a fan of him since a couple years ago, but I didn't know if we'd be able to get him. So I tempered my expectations. I tempered my praise of him even. Like I pretended like he wasn't even something that I really wanted.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
I'm very excited that we got him because he's a playmaker. And like I said last week, that sometimes he forces plays, but he's on my team. He's a Jets quarterback now, so now he extends plays. You know what I'm saying? It's different now. You know, so I'm hyped.
Okay. If I'd have told you before the draft that the Browns, with the first pick and the fourth pick, so, okay, no one thought that the Browns would screw this up. You got the first pick and the fourth pick. If I tell you the Browns leave the draft with Baker Mayfield and the name escapes me, but the DB from the Ohio State.
Dedrick Ward.
Derek Ward, excuse me if we get it wrong. What would you have said their round one draft grade would be?
I would give them an A because Ward might be ready to be a starter day one. And the reason why I felt like the Browns shouldn't go with Darnold is because I didn't know if he had enough swagger to lift the culture. Mayfield has that swag.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He has enough swag to be, if LeBron stays in Cleveland, LeBron little brother. He could be the next big star out there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I don't know if Darnold would bring that same type of elevation of spirit, ambiance that Mayfield brings.
I'm not sure if Cleveland needs the rah-rah quarterback though. I think they just need a quarterback that can ball. And taking Mayfield, alright, so I'm not gonna hate on his talent. He can play. We talked about last week how you think obviously he can play more than I think he can play. I watched a lot of Oklahoma games this past year. I watched his whole career pretty much. I think he's a prototypical college quarterback that looked good in the spread offense, that looked good in that college style run and gun, throw it down the field all the time. I don't see it translating to the pros. Maybe the scouts know more than I do, but the eye test, I felt like Darnold passed the eye test more than Mayfield did. Just watching him in the pocket, I know he has some games. Look, Darnold has some games where, you know, he put some pressure on him and he made the wrong call. He'll throw it in coverage. You know, he was always accurate. He had, you know, sufficient arm, but he would throw it in double coverage sometimes. He'll make, you know, the wrong decision as far as which, you know, not getting the check down. So I saw, you know, as a kid that's a sophomore in college, that's exactly what I saw.
Yeah.
But Mayfield, all the off the field antics to me kind of overshadowed what he did on the field. And you need a quarterback that's going to go in there, not be a headline, and just ball out. And I felt like, in my opinion, Darnold was the better choice. Now, with that being said, as being a Jet fan, I'm ecstatic. I felt like even more reason for them to do that trade where they gave up, I think it was 3 seconds, and that sixth pick to get to the third pick. Because let's say you didn't move anywhere, and then you get to the third or fourth pick, and you're like, Darnold's still sitting there. The asking price would have been so much more to move up. The Jets did it early enough where they gave up 3 second-round picks. Okay, cool, and their own pick. But I think that night, if you was trying to move up, you probably gave up an arm and a leg to try to move up. So I'm ecstatic the Jets got Darnold. pleasantly surprised that the Giants picked Saquon. We talked about him, and you talked about how he's the best player in the draft, and I agree. I didn't think with the Giants situation, with Eli being 37, 38 years old, that you should have picked up the running back. I'm high on this quarterback draft class. Apparently, the teams weren't. I mean, it was the first time, I guess, in a modern era that 4 quarterbacks were in the first 10 picks. So obviously they were, they were pretty high on the draft class as well. I'm just surprised that the Giants decided to take a running back. Clearly, you're not.
Not at all, because Eli still got a couple more years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he wouldn't be the first quarterback in his late 30s, early 40s to hoist that Lombardi.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It worked for Elway. It worked for his brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Peyton didn't play till Peyton played his last game at 36 maybe?
No.
37?
Wasn't he like 38, 39?
Was he pushing that much? My point is with Eli, I already see the talent deteriorating.
The thing that we forget is that Peyton Manning was on his last legs when he won one with the Broncos.
Peyton was on his last legs, but he still was top 15 quarterback in the league.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't even the top quarterback on his team.
He wasn't throwing a 40-yard, 50-yard bump. He was hurt though.
And
he
they
came back.
left him on the bench when he came back.
Yeah, but he played in the second round of the playoffs and in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because somebody got hurt.
But what I'm saying is, he was still a thorough quarterback enough to lead them to a championship game. I think Peyton wasn't throwing 50-yard bombs anymore, but he was still accurate. He had what they call the noodle arm, but he got the job done. He was almost like a Chad Pennington at that point.
He wasn't as good as Eli, and he won a Super Bowl.
I don't know about that. I watch Eli and I'm like, yo, again, every time I talk about Eli, I talk about the passes that are supposed to be here, and for whatever reason they're here. Eli probably leads the league since he's been in the league in tipped interceptions. And it's not the wide receiver's fault. It's not that the guys can't catch. I don't think he's accurate enough. When it comes to putting it in a tight window, the ball's supposed to be here and it's somewhere else.
Yeah, so
can we agree with that?
Yeah, these last couple of years they've been asking him to throw balls at the tight windows, and he hasn't been as productive.
But
hasn't been as efficient.
Right.
But in this next season, you should expect them to rely heavily on that play action. And guys are going to be wide open because linebackers are going to have to respect the run, and they're going to have to respect Barkley coming out of the backfield for a pass.
True. Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to have some open receivers. And the fact that he's not as accurate as most won't matter.
Yeah. I just felt like the Giants are not going to draft this high if they play the way they want to play. They're not going to draft this high for a long time. So when it's time for Eli to go, what you going to do about a quarterback? But besides Kirk Cousins, never in this past, let's say 10, 15 years, has a marquee quarterback been on the free agent market. So you're looking at the draft. Listen, we've never seen Webb, the backup, right? So unless you feel like he's got something, then they're not going to understand picking up Barkley. And again, don't get me wrong, this is not a knock on Barkley. Barkley was clearly the best player in the draft. I just feel like where the Giants are right now, kind of in this transitional period, you had an opportunity to pick up your next quarterback for 20 years, and you passed on it.
See, but you think it's transitional for the Giants. They think they're tooling up for the next Super Bowl.
But you gave up on JPP, you gave up on Cromartie, you're releasing these players. I understand salary cap casualties are good, cool, but if you're making a run, Eli should be a salary cap casualty. If that's the case.
Nah, because his
cap number is crazy though.
His cap number is crazy, but his value equates. Like your quarterback's cap number is going to be crazy, but you shouldn't be paying $15 million for a 5-sack defensive end.
Is that how much JPP was making?
That's how much he was asking for.
With half a hand? Oh, he's trying to renegotiate?
He was trying to get them to franchise him. He was trying to get...
Didn't he sign a new contract last year? Or 2 years ago? It wasn't a free agent. He's not a free agent.
Didn't he expire? Wasn't he about to expire
after this year?
Yeah.
I thought they re-signed him. He played the 1 year with the hand hurt, and then they gave him a new contract. And this is probably like the second year of that new contract. And then they shipped him off to Tampa. By the way.
Yeah, I thought this was his. I thought he already went to the second year.
This isn't. No, this isn't.
This was going to be his second year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I didn't understand the move to let him go, but I guess Gettleman is trying to bring his own people in.
But
Which
the fact is, he didn't produce what he was supposed to.
I mean, 5.5.
So they send him back to what you said, Jacksonville, right?
Tampa.
Oh, Tampa. Well, yeah, back to Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, where he came from.
Right by USF, right?
And go do what you do down there, man. Do backflips and play with fireworks. Because you wasn't concerned about getting sacks for the New York Giants when you was doing that.
Look, I hope the Giants are competitive this year. Is it crazy to think that the Giants will win 10 games this year? No, they could definitely win 10 with Saquon. I feel like they're trying to follow the Cowboys blueprint, but you don't have the line to follow the Cowboys blueprint. But
Well,
hopefully,
they just drafted a dude in the second round. You know what I'm saying? And you say it's the Cowboys blueprint, but it's the blueprint of most teams that win. Like Pittsburgh got the similar blueprint. Like
yeah, no, you're right.
The Patriots, you know what I'm saying, with Gronk and whatever running back they put back there, you know what I'm saying?
They got homeboy.
The teams that win, they have running backs who can, you know what I'm saying, run out the clock when they need to.
True.
And they have wide receivers that can make plays, and it's all centered around a quarterback. That's why you keep Eli and you make another run, because the new kid might be the one, or he might be the dude who has you picking in the draft for the next.
Eli top 20 quarterback in the league still?
Yes.
Okay. If you feel that way, then yes, you pick Saquon. I'm not sure if Eli's top 20 quarterback in the league still, so, but I guess we'll agree to disagree. Second round of the draft is actually tonight. I saw that the Jets picked up a D lineman. I think they need. You know, it's weird. There was a point where the Jets, and we talked about this before a little bit too, where the Jets had like a rack of that D line was just
too
stacked.
many.
Wilkerson, Richardson, Williams, and obviously Richardson's gone. Took that big deal with Minnesota. Snacks.